Alright, it's final shape time. It's been 10 years. I beat the campaign today on Legendary. I did it by myself. Where's you gotta show the proof, right? There you go. So, elephant in the room. Obviously, the biggest disappointment about this expansion is the fact that it was more or less unplayable on the first day, which is crazy to think about. I want to say I got in around 2 o'clock because I heard around, I think it released 1 Eastern, people were having like queue times forever. So I just got fortunate enough to log in at 2 and get in. I played about an hour or 2 hours and then I got kicked out. Or sorry, I took a break, and then when I relogged back in, I kept getting hit with the current errors where I couldn't fast travel anywhere. And then like Bungie support like basically saying, hey, we're gonna reset our servers. Long story short, like they did this at midnight apparently. So then I logged back in today and I finished up the story. Um, and yeah, my biggest problem with the story is that it's just set up for the raid and for probably the post campaign stuff. Because if you don't know, like with pretty much every Destiny expansion, there's some post campaign content, and then there's an additional post campaign stuff once you do the raid. Like once the first fire team beats the raid, things change. Like for instance, the Forsaken, you have the campaign, and then once once the raid was done, the whole entire Riven's Curse happened on the Dream Team. That's an entire new like content thing. So yeah, there's that. Now my issue, the way that the story ended, because I'm gonna be skipping around, but the way the story ended in Final Shape, the campaign, is more or less a cliffhanger, which does suck because again, if you're not a raider, then you don't really get to see the true ending of Destiny unless you do the raid. Now I have heard of a leak that I'm not going to talk about, but if that's true, then this is okay then. But in terms of like, if you're just playing the campaign to get a story, you're not going to get a complete story here, which is really annoying. Because the one thing that Forsaken did that was great is that you had your contained story in the campaign, but then you also had the post-campaign stuff that happened after the raid. For instance, you played Forsaken to hunt down Uldren and kill him. What do you do at the end of Forsaken? You hunt down Uldren and you kill him, right? And then the raid happens, and that's a Dreaming City thing that's separate. With this campaign, what is the purpose? The purpose is to stop the witness and defeat the witness, right? You basically spend literally like 3/4 of the entire campaign getting the band together, and then when you confront the witness, you find out you can like break him apart or something, and that's how you can defeat him. But doing so leaves you severe, like your ghost is completely fucked up by the end of this campaign, and so are you, and leaves you but it more or less says, oh, if it bleeds, you can kill it, right? And the final mission demonstrated that yes, the witness can be hurt, so it can be defeated, and it's obviously setting up the raid and stuff like that. So from a narrative perspective, the campaign is not a complete story. It's not a complete loop. You don't have your conclusion. It's just cliffhanger, which is really annoying. Another thing I don't like was all this melodrama and shit, especially with Zavala's character. This one started to really annoy me, because he basically pulled an Osiris from Lightfall, where he's just complaining and bitching about shit. What made Zavala's character really confusing is that I thought this was dealt with Witch Queen and with Season the Haunted. Because if you don't know, Zavala basically comes here with a stick up his ass. Obviously, Keith David's different voice actor. Lance Reddick passed away last year. But and it's just weird. Like, I'm not saying the voice acting is the reason why he sounded like, oh, it's weird. No, it's just like his lines. I'm reading it, and it's like he just has a stick up his ass for no reason. With Witch Queen, obviously his light, his faith in light was shaken. With Season the Haunted, they explored it more about how he sacrificed so much about his wife, his son, all this other stuff, and how, he sacrificed all this for the Traveler, and then doesn't respond to him, right? And I get it, they're like setting up these seeds of doubt planted in his mind. But again, it's like time and place. If this was like a post-campaign thing, I can understand. But again, this is not the 11th hour. This is the 12th hour. We are fucking here to stop the witness, and like the majority of the campaign is talking about feelings. Like I don't give a fuck. Just go. We need The entire universe, the reality itself is that fucking sick. I don't give a fuck about feelings about dead fire teams, all this other shit. Like, that should have been post-campaign. That should have been like, it should have been like, hey guys, we need to get this shit done. Forget about your fucking feelings. We need to go like now. It really annoys me. The first, like, literally the 3/4 of the campaign is like trying to talk about feelings and getting people together. It's like, I get it. It's like emotional because it's about Cade and all this other shit. I get that. But time and place, and that's what really annoyed me with the campaign, is that time and place. I feel like this shit is not the most important. Like, yeah, again, seeing your dead fire team member is like, whoa, holy shit, but it just felt like it was a way. It felt like it was just filler bullshit, and I want to get into the stuff. Also, another side tangent. What really annoyed me too was that the amount of fucking time they reiterated what the final shape was. Like, I didn't fucking play this game for the last 10 years, or I didn't like literally listen to the mission dialogue, because your ghost will talk to you after every mission, and the ghost will literally for some of the missions just repeat of what you just heard. It's like, yes, I have an attention span. I know what the final shape is. I know what Ikora just said. I know what Kate just said. Like, I don't understand what the point of that shit was. Yeah, again, that was really weird how they kept like, this is what the final shape is. I get it. I get it. Maybe this is like to help people who haven't played Destiny. Like let's say this is your first time into the franchise, but again, you have a cutscene when you first start this shit, like literally saying what the final shape is. So I don't understand why the fuck they kept repeating what the fuck the final shape was. But that was confusing. Again, Zavala's character makes no sense in this campaign. Like, when I can kind of get what they're going with it, but like just this complete 180, like because like literally, like when was the last time he was talked about? I think Season of the Deep, or was that like Defense of Amanda? Like, clearly he's heartbroken, but again, you were inside the fucking Traveler. Now is not the time. I can't get over that. And then the way his ghost dies is so, yeah, spoiler alert, I'm sorry, obviously spoiler. Yeah, Zavala's fucking ghost charge dies, and I fucking called it too. I knew the moment they introduced this fucker and he started speaking, like, oh, he's dead, he's gonna so fucking die. But it's like, the way he loses ghost is so dumb. He jumps into like a ghoul of darkness to talk to the witness, to find out about the weakness of the witness, and his ghost jumps in and, you know, dies trying to protect them. And I don't know, like it's I feel like they're trying to go for all this emotional like crap, but I think what would have served this story better is that you get rid of that shit. It's like, it's implicit, it's understood that, you know, like, you know, your ghost, you take care of your ghost, you take care of each other, and, you know, camaraderie and shit, and just, it's time to get shit done. No more time for, like, you know, there was a line, and Bungie has this really bad habit of telling instead of showing, where they said, oh, well, the witness showed him his life with his family for an eternity, and his life without his family for an eternity, and all this shit. That could not have been a cutscene. I feel like if we could have seen that, maybe that'd make more sense why his character's so like, oh my god, like, we gotta, fuck you, Ikora, we gotta destroy the witness, like, completely, like, reckless abandon. It's like, the way he is in this campaign is, like, it's like Osiris from Lightfall. It's complete, like, character assassination. It's so, like, what the fuck? So out of left field. I don't know. I still can't get over how Zavala was this campaign. It made no fucking sense. Like, he lost his ghost for no fucking reason. It was really dumb. The confrontation with the witness was kinda boring, because he had an insta-kill attack, and you had a lot of cover, so you just kind of hid behind cover, and yeah, you just plinked away. Okay, so that's a lot of negative. I will say the positive stuff is obviously visually very good. I think the Pale Heart's a very nice looking place. I still prefer the Dreaming City, but I do like the visuals. I think another nice touch too is a lot of the campaigns introduce like different mechanics and like puzzle solving. And like, at the end of the day, yeah, you're killing everything, but like, you know, you have to find some glyphs, you have to, you know, memorize something, you have to, you know, use this thing to activate another thing. I can appreciate that. You know, at first, like, oh, that's kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it makes me, you know, slow down and appreciate things more. I don't mind that. Maybe there's some raid hints in there too about what the fuck's going on. Although I swear, if they do more symbols like that, Disciple, I'm over it. Like I said, I don't think the campaign was bad, but it wasn't what I was expecting. Because my biggest fear when with Final Shape, and I said was that this is going to be a nostalgia bait trip down memory lane, and that's going to be the entirety of the campaign. I was wrong. My fear when I started playing this that came true was that this is going to be the campaign where we spend like mostly getting the band back together, talking about some feely dilly-dally bullshit, and then the final mission we'll have to deal with the witness. And that's what happened when I started playing through. I was like, holy shit. Because I realized there's only like, what, 6, 7 missions? Like, this is like the fucking 5th mission, and we're still like talking about feelings and shit instead of just getting it done. Funnily enough, I did say I wouldn't mention some post-campaign stuff. I will mention one thing. I think a mission that does it kind of well about like, you know, feelings and shit was the Still Hunt exotic mission called Wildcard. I won't spoil it, but it has that thing where essentially it's Croncade, you know, doing something, and I can appreciate the mission because at the end of the day, you know, there's a problem that needs to be solved, but yet they can talk about the feelings, but yet they're still pressing on to, like, there's still progress even though they're talking about shit. Like, when you have an entire mission dedicated to finding someone and talking about their feelings, that is dumb. Like, at least with this quest, they're talking about the feelings, but at least they're doing something, they're getting shit done. The Lost Sectors were pretty cool, the Dread units, oh my god, like on Legend, the Subjugators, man, like they are just like, wow, they one-shot you, or almost one-shot you. Like the Ice one and the Strand one can basically outright obliterate you in one shot. On Legend, I know I was on Legend, I wasn't at max level, obviously, but still, it's like, wow, they suck. But like I said, they can easily be cheesed because, you know, CC stasis, stuff like that. I haven't talked about Prismatic, obviously I'll get to that. But yeah, like, so overall, if I had to sum up the campaign, it's just like Lightfall. It's more setup. Like, if you skip the campaign, the only thing you would have missed out on is that Zavala no longer has his ghosts, and the Witness actually has people inside of it that don't agree with it, and that's how you can kill it, by basically unraveling it. Because the issue with the Witness, again, was that in Season of the Deep, they basically had a cutscene that revealed everything you needed to know about the Witness, its motives, its origins, which is arguably the two most important things about any antagonist or any like villain of a major, like, you know, storyline. And it's just clear as day, like, oh, the Witness was previously a civilization left by the Traveler. They got pissed off. I didn't talk to them, so it seeked out the Veil, which is the opposite of the Traveler, and then it communed with it and made itself a single entity to pursue the Traveler to be God it wanted it to be. Boom, like that's literally the entire motivation. There's nothing they like. With that cutscene alone, literally, like, there's nothing they could reveal about the Witness that's shocking anymore. Like, when I found out there's voices inside the Witness that don't agree with it, and they're like locked out or whatever, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But again, the cutscene, we see the Traveler rising above the pyramids of civilization. Imagine a Season of the Deep cutscene didn't exist, and we found out the origin of the Witness, right? I mean, I still would make the snarky remark that, yeah, it's basically the Fallen again, you know, a jilted X-race chasing down the Traveler. But still, at least it would have been interesting. But like, the fact that the Witness is so well explained, it's just like, okay, it's just another angry dude that they kill. Okay, yeah, they really dropped the ball on that one. Again, the Witness fight itself wasn't anything special. They're definitely hinting at our Guardian dying, because again, our Ghost is completely fucking trashed by the end of Final Shape, and the sword that we were using in the campaign, definitely what looked a lot like the sword that was on our gravesite. That was, you know, if you all the way back years ago, Quarters of Time, when you finally solved the puzzle or whatever and you got Bastion, it was like there's a future timeline where we're dead and there's a sword on our grave, and the sword we used to kill the, you know, break the Witness thingies looked exactly like that. So I mean, it's implying that either we're dying or our ghost is going to be, you know, dead. Now, obviously, in terms of gameplay, I don't think they'll just kill off our characters, because then, like, how are you going to play the game? I'm sure they're going to do something, though. Maybe they will, and they'll explain, like, oh, through temporal thingies, you can technically play as yourself or something. But, yeah. Prismatic, we can talk about Prismatic. Prismatic has one big issue. Shit is locked. I don't know why shit is locked. And when I mean shit is locked, I mean supers, melees, aspects and fragments. Now, you can make a case for fragments being locked. I can understand that. You can make a case for aspects being locked. I can understand. You can make a case for stuff being locked, except for the fact that Prismatic is not new. The only thing new about Prismatic is the fragments and then obviously the transcendence thing, right? Those are the only thing new. For instance, why do I have to go do a quest line to unlock Threaded Spike? I have this on Strand. Why do I have to go through, I'm assuming a quest line, why do I have to go through X, Y, and Z to unlock Silk Strike or Deadfall? Or, why do I have to go through a thing to unlock Threaded Spectre or, Gunpowder's Gamble? Things that I have unlocked default in other subclasses. I think what would have helped Prismatic a lot is that if you just had it and everything was unlocked except for the new fragments, and then maybe like the new aspect, maybe like, because you do unlock some new aspects and fragments by just playing the campaign. Like you get them like maybe get like 3 of them and the new super. But I think would have made this way better is you just did everything, you could mix and match how you wanted and then just go, right? It's just so bizarre to me that so like all this stuff is locked. I don't get it. Like because I've used Threaded Spectre before. I've used Gunpowder's Gamble before. This isn't anything new. Sure, might be different how it interacts with Prismatic, but it's like I've already seen this stuff. I don't know why I have to re-unlock it again. It's really bizarre. Like the fragments, I'm fine with this because these are kind of like mix and match of like different fragments. Like one of these is basically like unraveling rounds and a volatiles round mixed together. I'm fine with stuff like that being locked. You have to unlock it. I get that, but just the entire idea that I have to re-unlock like again things that I already have in other subclasses makes no sense to me. It should have just came out the gate like that. Obviously there's also other things I don't like about Prismatic, like certain choices, like I don't have my weighted throwing knife, personal preference, stuff like that. I don't have the grenades I want, like I don't have trip mines. Technically my transference thing is a trip mine, but whatever. Still think it's fine. It's definitely strong, and we've definitely foregone the way of gunplay in this update. Now, granted, yes, your guns do matter on terms of building transference. Like if you have light, and dark based damage that build to the meter separately, and kinetics do both, but at a slower rate. So yes, you do have to take if you want to do like optimal transference, like prism or prismatic spamming. Sure, you need to take that into account. But if you really don't, like you build it up naturally just by playing the game. But yeah, it's like an ability spam fest. I mean, it's fun to use, and that's really all that matters. So that's neat. It's basically having like a mini super. Increased damage, damage resist. You have a specialized grenade, stuff like that. And you also English. You can use your super while in prismatic, but you cannot use prismatic while you're in your super. Which means, like, i.e., I can pop my golden gun, but then I can't use prismatic, or I can use prismatic and then pop my golden gun. So yeah, if you want to use prismatic in your super, you have to do the prismatic first. Order matters. Now I don't know if the damage boost from prismatic actually affects golden gun. But whatever. Yeah, but that's pretty much my first impressions. Like the campaign was pretty disappointing. Again, I understand that it's hard to like meet expectations in terms of this is the final expansion, all this other shit. However, because I'm trying to be nice here, because I will tear into them in my retrospective of everything. It is very annoying that the campaign is I think I want to say like the last 2 missions, more or less the last 1 mission, that things actually feel like it's happening. Like I'm telling you, when I'm thinking like what actually happened in the campaign, like I can summarize this: you land in the Pale Heart, you find Cade, you find Ikora, you find Zaval, you talk about feelings and shit. And then you go confront the witness at the very end because Zavala is a dumbass and lost his ghost, and then he found out a way how to defeat the witness. That's literally it. Sure, the skybox is amazing. Like fighting the Dread isn't the worst thing in the world. They're not super annoying. And like I said, I do appreciate in terms of combat, like gameplay wise, it's actually pretty fun. The little puzzles, doing stuff like that, especially some of the post campaign stuff seems pretty fun. So I'm not saying it's a bad expansion. It's that the story is just another setup for post-campaign stuff. And just like I said, a Lifebot, I'd much rather have the campaign kind of have its complete like conclusion, and then have post-campaign stuff be kind of a little bit like obviously tied to the campaign, but a little bit separate. Like again, with Forsaken, perfect example. You start off with trying to hunt down Uldren and kill him. You do it, like that story is its own self-contained loop. You have the conclusion, right? You have, you shoot Crow or Predator shoot Crow, quote-unquote cliffhanger, but at the end of the day, you achieve the goal. Crow is dead, or sorry, Uldren is dead. The end, right? And then the post-campaign stuff is like the grander picture of like, okay, well, the whole entire Ribbon curse, Dreaming City curse, stuff like that. Again, with Final Shape, it's just the fact that it's just a cliffhanger. It's just like, okay, well, you're basically almost defeated. Like, again, we might have lost the battle, but we haven't. But we lost the battle, but we might win the war, type thing. It's just like, I could get that, but like, again, I feel like for the final fucking expansion, like of this saga, I feel like it should have just been. Now would I've liked to see the Witness defeated? It depends, because again, they've done this in the past with Taken King. Because if you don't remember Taken King, you defeat Oryx, and then there's a cutscene where he takes himself and disappears. So yes, you have defeated Oryx, but in reality, if you know like what's going on, he actually took himself, and then he's on the Dreadnought, and you have to kill him, truly kill him in the raid. That's what they're going for. I get that, but it's just, I'm thinking of someone who's probably not going to do the raid, and just wants to, like, just as someone who just wants to play the campaign to experience the Final Shape story, and I would be disappointed for sure. Again, I want to reiterate another, like, I cannot believe they did this, is the fact the fucking game was not functional for literally like almost the first day, almost the entirety of the first day. I think I saw somewhere on Twitter that Paul Tech said we were so close to beating the peak of Lightfall, but because of all the server downtime, 65,000 people left. It's like, how do I say it? Because I can already see the code coming. Yes, we are used to this. I am used. Literally, the joke is, why ever take the day off of work or school from Destiny? You know the game's not going to work. The servers won't work. Obviously just come back later, right? And again, just like with Lightfall, like, this is kind of a weird tangent, but just like with Lightfall, it's not that the story of Lightfall was pretty bad, but like overall it was fine. It's the fact of where Lightfall was in terms of like the story, right? In terms of like where we'd been in this like 10-year journey, right? Lightfall was like the fucking 9th year, and they're doing this shit, right? The Final Shape, their biggest, arguably their most important expansion ever. Again, if this was any other expansion, I could be like, well, it kind of sucked, whatever. But this is the Final Shape, and you couldn't get the fucking servers to work. Like, come on. You had a 25-hour downtime maintenance. How? Why does this happen? How? What the fuck? Like, dude, if I was a server engineer at Bungie, I'd be punching air. It doesn't help that also, I screen capped one of it, but I should have screen capped more. The Destiny 2 team Twitter, they did, I'll read it to you verbatim, because this is deleted now. I think someone got a little pissy at the community and was being very passive-aggressive online, and I think someone wrangled them back and deleted it. Greetings, Guardians. The team hopes you are enjoying the Final Shape launch day. We understand some frustrations with ongoing situation regarding a few error codes here and there, but just so you know, we are listening! Exclamation point. The "we are listening" thing that line is fucking classic, but basically they're trying to downplay like how bad it was. It was legitimately bad. Like, the game was, I'm not joking, it was unplayable. Everyone I talked to said they couldn't, they couldn't go anywhere. They had issues where it says your fire team doesn't have access to this activity. Prismatic not unlocking if you're playing in a fire team, like all kinds of crazy shit. And it's like 10 years, 3.6 or $3.9 billion company. What is the excuse? I've seen all kinds. Well, the test servers, and they can't expect a lot. If I was at Bungie, I'm thinking, the chips are down. People are fucking pissed off. Intellite bought some goodwill. But this is our fucking moment. This is our big moment. This is our moment to show that, yes, Destiny can still continue for the next 10 years. And it's not over. It's not over. Everyone, Destiny's dead. I would fucking hope that someone had that thought. And I would think that that was the, intent. Like, hey guys, we need to make sure our fucking servers are in fucking check, because again, I would expect Bungie to expect a massive influx of players, new and old, because this is it. This is like the end of this entire 10 years of this fucking game, and yet here we are. I don't know if it might sound like I'm happy, but it's just like stunned disbelief. When I heard about all the errors and I saw what happened, I was like, wow, that's bad. Obviously not bad today. I could play and complete the game today, but it's all about, like, impressions matter. And when when this is your final fucking expansion, and your fucking game doesn't work for the first fucking day of a live service you've been doing for 10 years as a single IP studio, it looks bad. It looks really fucking bad. But again, I'll shit on them some more in a different video. But overall, the campaign was kind of disappointing. Not kind of, it was disappointing. I expected, I did not expect touchy-feely Season of the Haunted rehash shit for a majority of the campaign. Um, all the revelations didn't make it, like, it didn't matter because, again, Bungie completely fucking spilled the beans in Season of the Deep, literally revealing everything about the Witness you would ever care about. Oh, wants to reshape reality. Like, we already know what the final shape is. They already explained it like 13 fucking times in the campaign. We know, like, we know where the Witness comes from. We know its origins. The only new thing, and I don't think it's new, I think it was hinted at too, that there's a dissidence inside the Witness because it's a collective of, like, many people. I'm pretty sure there's the lore cards, or something explained that happened, where like, everyone in the Witness didn't agree or some crap. But that's it. Now again, post-campaign stuff, actually pretty great. Again, I won't spoil it, but I had a fun time doing some of the post-campaign stuff. I hope it seems like there's quite a bit to do, which is nice. Again, I'm taking my time. Obviously there's going to be more post-campaign stuff with the raid. There has to be, because literally the raid's where you go kill the Witness, I'm assuming. So, post-campaign, actually pretty solid. Actual campaign, pretty mediocre, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I think combat was fine, but it's just like, the story really lost me. And again, Zavala's character, I get they were hinting at it, but I thought Season of the Haunted kind of squashed that. And again, my brain going into this is, again, I'm assuming Final Shape, they're inside the Traveler. Now's not the time to have a crisis of faith. Motherfucker, you're inside the Traveler. Like, what? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I feel like they wanted to move some plot points along, and they needed to have some kind of conflict and drama. But I would disagree. I think there's no need for drama. I think it's like, this should have been like, how the kids say, let's lock in and let's get it the fuck done, right? Because it's like, oh my god, Pacific Rim. Have you ever watched that movie? Fun movie. There's no sequel. There's like a part where Raleig's talking to Mako, right, when they're about to do their last mission, right? And he's like, you know, I think either he or someone's about to say some words, and he's like, there's no need to say any words, like, we're in the drift. There's this understanding that, you know, we might die, and all this wishy-washy shit, but we need to get shit done, right? That's how I always felt like it was implied with, like, the Ghost, right? Is that we need to get shit done, we might die, but that's a risk we're willing to take. We're here, this is the end, we need to fucking prevent this shit, so let's get it done. Also, the fucking Vidocs make me laugh, because I always like to watch them, and then I like to watch them again in retrospect. The Final Shape is not about us. The Final Shape story has never been... Destiny's story has never been about us. It has been about every other fucking character besides us. The Final Shape story, like the campaign, is about Crow, Zavala, Katakor, their relationship, and their dealing with grief and tragedy and bullshit. We're, like, mentioned a couple times in passing, but it's mostly about them. Yes, the Witness talks to us. Yes, we confront the Witness, but it's not about our character. Like, our character hasn't grown or done anything different. Our character literally says, like, one line. Like, oh, there's a signal over there or something. That's it. Or maybe when we talk to Kate, but that's it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This story is not about us. I don't know. I just find it weird. Crow, again, main character syndrome, kinda. But yeah, that's pretty much the campaign. Like I said, I'll talk about sandbox stuff, other things. Oh, Lament's nerf is pretty noticeable. This is closing thoughts, by the way. Like, Lament's healing, dude. As an avid Lament user, it's my most used exotic heavy. I can definitely... The damage, I couldn't tell as much because I'm obviously playing under power in Legend solo, so I can understand that the damage is gonna... Like, I don't have a proper sense of damage of Lament in my head. But the healing was definitely noticeable. I definitely could feel the difference in the healing. And I was using Lament for some of the missions that I had to put it away because I'm like, wow, because the healing's so low, it doesn't really matter because they just two-shot me anyways. It's like, then I shouldn't, oh my god, I could go on and on about the fucking Lament nerf. They haven't fixed the tracking, by the way. It's literally just worse. It's just worse than what it was pre-Final Shape, which is really fucking sad. There is a new sword, and I'm working on it. I have no idea what it does, but if it's like the whole entire, they nerfed Syntheseps because they made another exotic for Banner War Titan, and Syntheseps would have just shit on it, then I will be really pissed. Because if you don't know, they also made another, like, Strand Titan exotic that basically buffs the melee damage of, you know, Blade Fury or whatever, whatever the fuck the, melee is called, Frenzy Blade. And also, like, and it's like, if you read what it does, and you're like, well, Syntheseps kind of just does that, but doesn't require like just needs enemies around you. It's like, well, obviously I feel like they nerfed into the steps because it steps on the toes too much of this new exotic, but whatever. Um, yeah, closing that. That's pretty much it. It's not the worst campaign I played. In retrospect, I still think the best campaign, even though it didn't have direct mission types, was Forsaken, just because of the reveals. And again, I'm a sucker for seeing things from a different perspective, like looking behind the glass, right? Like the reason why I liked Forsaken so much was you gotta like I love Prison of Elders, but it was cool to see a different perspective of Prison of Elders, like to see the back end and how everything works, stuff like that. Um, the Pale Heart kind of does that, but it's like it's kind of more like, oh, it's just reimagining of things like you've seen before. Um, Again, not the definitely better than Lightfall, but um, actually I might have to. Okay, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's worse than Lightfall, but I have to take points off because again, all this wishy-washy emotional bullshit. It's like, dude, like, can we? I was so annoyed. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be the entire campaign, and I was fucking right. Unfortunate. I did get some of the new weapons. They seem kind of cool, like the new rocket strand sidearm. There's some new perks too. You know, this thing's kind of cool to call. Strategist gives you basically like a classic contender but better. So pretty neat. Also, more ways to get weapon stability. We have, you know, press the advantage. I know Prismatic has a way to get stability now too, kind of like a Hedron's type effect. And then Strategist also gives you weapon stability. So hey, I might have not gotten knock them down, the original knock them down back, but at least it got more stability somehow. So that's kind of cool. But I've been like rambling on long enough. Thanks for watching.